Let's go over how to use your arduino to measure the battery voltage. It can be any battery. Here I'm going to use the lithium battery 1.5, I mean double A. And one thing to keep in mind is that the measurement won't be as accurate as a real voltage meter. So since the arduino uses 10 bytes, uh, the measurement will be off by 4.8 millimeters. That's approximately. And also, if you're using USB cable to power your arduino, you can there is the one issue so in there, which is we'll be assuming that the battery, the USB cable is providing 5 voltage, and essentially it's not the best way to measure the voltage of the battery, but it's one way to do it. I do have a voltage meter here, so we can measure both of them and do the comparison. Doesn't matter. So
This is the Arduino Uno upgrade, and we have a 6 analog pin. I don't know if you can see them here. We have 0 to 5, a total of 6 of them. But one thing to keep in mind with Arduino, they take a maximum of 5 volts in each pin. We have a lot of pin of them that will be interested on this. Now look, what I want to do is measure the voltage across this double A battery. This is a lithium battery, so be careful with lithium battery though. And this is a lithium battery of 1.5 volts. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to be using 2 of them hooked on the battery holders, which I bought on Amazon. All of this stuff I bought on Amazon. Okay. So the analog will take the pin value like of the variable voltage and then kind of output it. What you want to do is connect the negative lead of the battery to the ground. So we're gonna make sure everything is in common ground, otherwise it wouldn't work. So this couldn't go to the ground here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of moving around like crazy. I'm gonna go a little bit away so we can connect this one to the ground. I don't have more than 1 gram, so just pick one. Then the ground will work pretty fine. If you know how PCB works, so you know that those ground are kind of connected. And then we're gonna pick one analog pin. Like I said, we have 6 of them, so this thing is kind of handy here. Let's see if I can do my best. Alright, we'll just get in there. I can just plug in there. And I'm gonna put this one to A1. So we're gonna read the values from A1. Just like that. Okay, this thing's not really fine. So alright, just plug it there. You're gonna make sure it's not moving, otherwise it won't get the values you want. You get a bunch of noise. That's not what we want. Or you can just cut it off and then try kind of like connect it to one of those pins. This lead, those are really easy to kind of plug in, just like that. But we're gonna read it from this one. If it doesn't work, then we'll change it. Alright.
this will be the code we'll be using to kind of read the values. You can see here we have an analog pin at A1, and then we'll read that value with analog dot read, and we're gonna multiply that value by 5 and divide by 1023. That 1023 is because the Arduino is using 10 bytes. It should be 1024, but you know, sometimes we're gonna make compromise. Okay, so we have 1023 multiplied by 5. That 5 will stand for like if you're using the USB cable to power your Arduino, we assume that the USB cable will output like a 5 volts. Otherwise, we just get some, you know, the value will vary a little bit. But yeah, and then we have 100 millivolts, like millisecond delay, so we can read the values of the and this is the output from the Arduino analog pin. So you can see the voltage reading right here. It's kind of very little bit, but it's not bad. And this will be the output from the voltage meters. You can see the values are pretty close. But like I said, you gotta be careful with the Arduino. If the voltage you're measuring is above 5 volts, just forget doing that. Otherwise, you're gonna blow up something, and no one wants that. All right. So if you have voltage that is above the 5 volt, use voltage dividers, just throw in some resistors, and yeah, we got it solved. Alright, next time we'll see if I can throw in some LED, some screen in there so we can get the values on a little screen in there. So telling us the voltage of our battery. Alright, see you next time.